Hey fam, my name is Peetstar Poet. I'm a son in this house and a proud member of Rockwest Assembly, the family church. I have a testimony today. So about a year ago, I was growing so fast and so much in terms of my production, in terms of being a photographer and being an artist. So that means like I do a lot of gigs here and there, performing. There was one problem though, there was one challenge, which was going from one place to another, and especially when you have a team, which means that transport, I had to use, I'm using Uber, I'm using Bolt a lot to be able to go from one place to another. And I know I needed a car to be able to do two things, to be able to operate well in marketplace and in ministry. And so beginning of the year, it's always like a slow time for creatives, like around January, February, there's not so much gigs. So I said, what can I do now? Because I'm always asking myself, what can I do with what I have? And I believe that is the heart of stewardship. So I said, one thing I can do, if I'm trusting God for a car, I can go to a driving school, make sure I put in the time and get my license before I get a car. I didn't want a situation where I have a car and I don't have a driving license. So I went to school in the beginning of the year, and around March I finished, and about the month of May I already had my driving license. And God is faithful even for enabling me to be able to do that. So what happened is I started saving towards buying a car. And I had done pretty well by the beginning of the year towards saving for that car, and actually committed to somebody who was selling a car. And while I was almost reaching the threshold of getting that car, he told me, Peter, there's a bit of issues with my car, and you're my friend. I don't want you to have issues. I don't want you to have issues with your first car. I want you to be able to enjoy your first car. As time went by, a friend of mine told me, there's a car, this Asian lady is selling a BMW, an old BMW 318. It was in great condition, lady owned. I was like, nice, this is a good ride, but it's manual. I hope you know how to drive one. So we were actually ready to commit. And on the very day we were supposed to start thinking about committing and making a transfer, what happened is the lady changed her mind. She says, I talked to my mother and she advised me, since I'm not in the country, it's not advisable for me to sell the car. I was a bit disappointed, but I remember my friend Brambi started telling me that everything that is happening around you is not happening to you, it's happening for you. And so that encouraged me going on, and I always found a reason to thank God and be like, God, you must have a better thing for me waiting. This is the second car. So you're disappointed, you're honest to God about it, but you're also open to the fact that God may have something better, or he knows better as to why he didn't get you that thing. I was still disappointed, but God has prepared my heart to receive such news. And so I told her, well, it is okay, you don't have to worry. And so I actually went down on my knees and prayed to God, and I said, God, I feel disappointed about this, but I know you have a better plan for me. One thing I know for sure is that you have a car that you have reserved for me. You have a car for me, and I know it is good and it's everything I asked for. I prayed, woke up, stood up, and then told my friend who knew I was going to get that car that, I've just lost this car, I'm not going to be able to get it. And so he told me, coincidentally, somebody had just texted him and told him there is a car that is available, and this family is relocating to the US, and so they're disposing some of the cars that they had. And so when I saw the picture, I was like, this is the car. Because funny enough, and I was telling my friend, I'd actually dreamt about the car I was going to have. And funny thing, in the vision, I only saw the rear seats of the car. And so I was like, was that just a dream? What is going on in that situation? So when he sent me the car, the photos of the car, and then I saw the pictures, when I saw the rear seats, I actually threw away my phone and rejoiced, and I said, this is the car. This is the car that I saw in my dream. And I was certain, because I had been shown a dream, that I'm going to get it. And so this is on Wednesday, and I know a lot of people wanted that car because it's a nice car. On Friday, my friend and I traveled to Nakuru very early in the morning because there are people who are going to see the car on Saturday. So I canceled my plan. I said, we are going, that is my car, I'm going to get it. So we arrived there. The gentleman was really nice and kind towards me. And before the end of day on Friday, we had finished the transfer. And I got myself my first car, Mercedes W202. It's an old classic. If you know about Mercedes-Benz, it's really an amazing car. It was more than I have asked for, and God made it so amazing. and the way it happened. And I believe this is one thing that God does. Sometimes it's not just about getting that thing, it's about being able to walk with Him in the process so that He prepares your heart. Like if you're trusting in me, are you patient? Are you persistent? And so this was the fourth car that came my way, and it was it. And it was better than any car that had come my way before. So I'm really thanking God for being able to do this, because I know it is a blessing, and the blessing of God addeth no sorrow. I thank Him because of what it's gonna do in terms of marketplace, in terms of ministry, what I'm gonna be able to do for others, because I believe it's not just for me, it is for even the people around me. So I really thank God for that, and I really give Him glory. And if you're really trusting God for anything, just know that He is a doer and He is a rewarder of those who patiently wait for Him. And if He tells you to hold up and wait for a minute, it's because He knows better. He sees that situation in angles you do not see. And so that's what happened to me, and I'm so grateful that before end of the day, we got the car, the transfer was done, and I came with it. In fact, Sunday morning, I just remember Pasi praying. Every time you hear Pastor Don preaching and says, on that Sunday, make sure you pick somebody on your way to church. And I was like, I thank God, finally I'm able to do this. So I called my friend. I'm like, hey, Niadzi, don't cancel your plans on how you're going to go to church on Sunday. And I went there, and then the good thing is, like, he also had 2 other friends, and just an amazing maiden, trip to church for the first time. So I really thank God for that. If He has done it for me, He can do it for you. Conclusion, I just want to say that this is what the Lord had kept for me. I know some of you may hear that and think I'm talking about a wife. No, I'm talking about the Mercedes W202. I really thank God for that. My name is Peetstar, the poet, the MC, the photographer, the videographer, and that is my testimony. God bless you.